Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. It's just a coincidence that I'm wearing the orange jersey today. There's absolutely no reason for it at all. It's just one of those days. I just decided to clean out my wardrobe and I found this T-shirt. There's no reason for it. We will just be talking about a rather ordinary game in terms of Sunrisers. What did you expect? I mean, we were going to make the playoffs. We've been doing this every year. This is just a coincidence. I have with me my usual co-host Musti. We'll be analyzing the game, and we have a special guest today who will really dive deep into the analysis as he usually does. Mr. Atif Haider, how are you doing, sir?
I'm very, 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 very good.
As expected, a true Hyderabadi fan. I'd love that response. But yeah, I think just let's dive into the. I mean, there was no doubt in it anyway. Was there ever a doubt? I mean, Hyderabad was going to make the playoffs. They've been making it for 5 seasons. They continue to make it. Okay, let's get a little serious over here. But a good game. Bombay rested a couple of their key players, and but Hyderabad, they never really gave them a chance. They never really gave them anything. They bowled well to restrict them to a good score. They batted well. They never didn't even lose one wicket. A pretty solid performance, and going into the playoffs in style, and the other teams would be wary of them. Atifi?
Absolutely. I think no matter what the changes have been in the team in front of you, you still have to go out there and perform. And that's what Hyderabad did. They choked them while batting, and I mean they did a great job while batting as well. I mean there was no hope for them. 150 very average score. I thought the wicket was good today. I don't know how the pitch read, but according to me, I felt it was a good wicket. Bombay threw away their wickets. Looking at how we batted, I felt like it was a 200 pitch, maybe 180, 190. But I think it was just a very, very good performance. And I think the confidence helped winning the last two games against RCB and DC. We went in with confidence. We didn't care about what the other team is going to do. We did our thing. We won the toss and elected to bowl. That was one of the most important decisions. And I think, as you said, been consistent making the playoffs for the past 4 years, and this is the fifth year. So I think it's going to be a good playoff.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Sunrisers will come up against Bangalore, which is always a feisty encounter, and we'll get to that eventually. But in terms of just Mumbai, no real pressure on them. I mean, they took it easy. It seemed like yes, they didn't have their full strength. They took it easy. They got stifled for the runs, but I don't think that they take any kind of worries with this game. I mean, they're just gonna go out there and play their natural A game come Thursday, and then probably consider go on and win that one as well, because they've been the best team in this season for so far at least.
Yeah. First of all, I just wanted to say, always fear the wounded tiger. They're out of the tournament, man. Out of the tournament against after that Punjab game. I think nobody had expectations of going to the playoffs. Just thought maybe just win a game, spoil it for other teams. But they actually made it to the playoffs. Like if you see this season, watch from game one to now, you wouldn't have expect we've all watched every single ball of Sunrisers. We wouldn't expect them to make the playoffs, but never count this team out. I think shout out to David Warner. I think he's probably the best captain in the IPL. I'm sorry, I know this is a controversial statement, but five seasons in a row, he's won the championship as well. I think he's the way he's rallied the boys, unbelievable. And in terms of Mumbai, like you said, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Pollard's form is a positive from this game. They didn't play their best 11, and rightly so. They have a game on Thursday, so I think for them it's okay. And now they'll need to step up the game when they play, but I think for them it was kind of predictable that they would do this.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think like you touched upon Punjab, and even David Warner in the post match, and even VVS Lakshman when they spoke to him briefly after the game. Both of them talked about that game that was really a demoralizing loss for them, and they come out of that game with now needing 3 out of 3 wins. A couple of the other results went in their favor, which was good.
That was a big factor as well.
Exactly, yeah. So some of the other games, I mean, the likes of Punjab losing, KKR losing a game, Rajasthan being blowing a little bit hot and cold, that helped. But at the end of the day, they need to win 3 games. They won the 3 games, and they made it there. They made that position theirs, So hats off to this Hyderabad team. Adivi, any specific thoughts after that poor performance against Punjab to really turn it around like that?
I think it was really demoralizing, like Musti said, because all the fans had their heads down. We said, you know what, the season's over. Let's just try and win one or two. Let's not finish last. These were the thoughts. I mean, the best of fans go through those thoughts. But sometimes when you're in that pressure and you sometimes think that you don't really care and you just want to go out there and play, you play your best cricket. So that's what we did. I think DC and RCB, the performances were unbelievable. Today as well, I mean, the batting, I think Saha has made a big difference. I've always felt you need to play your batsmen to their strengths, and Saha's strength is coming up or not coming at all. Don't play players in the middle order if they can't hit the ball out of the ground. Same with Manish Pandey. I feel don't play him 2 down, 3 down, 4 down. He is a number one batsman, number three batsman. Kane still can manage when he comes lower down because he's class. He's absolute world class. But play the batsmen at their strengths, and that's what happened. Saha just came in, got a chance, and absolutely blew it out of the park.
He's been the
Unbelievable. And
game
I think
changer, I think. Yeah, he's been the game changer for Hyderabad.
absolutely,
Yeah. And now you
absolutely. The
have two wicket
confidence.
keepers in the squad who are crazy opening batsmen. Like, it's
Yeah, and
unbelievable.
the pressure was off the foreign players as well, and the
Yeah.
batting as well. Because when you had Bairstow and Warner, I mean, obviously that when they click, there's no one like them. But when they don't click, the whole batting order feels the pressure. Everyone thinks, oh, you know what, and also it gives confidence to the bowling team, thinking, okay, you know what, their two best batsmen are out, or their two top order batsmen are out. Now we just have to take care of the rest of them, and they've always thought that it's easier to do that. And we all know that our middle order isn't world beaters right now. But with Holder coming in, it's given a lot of depth. I mean, honestly, it was a slight pressure situation the last game, and the way he just came and smacked those 20 runs, it does help a lot. So the balance, I think, finally some teams take a while to get the balance right, and I think this is the right balance. You play around with one or two players. You don't play around with 3, 4, 5 players every game. So now you're playing either play Garg or Shankar or Sharma. There's one spot, but now your bowling is set. You're not messing with the bowling. You're not saying, okay, Khalil for Natarajan, let's change up. Sandeep is now the main bowler with Bhuvi gone. So now Hyderabad has got their proper team. Oh, we have a special guest.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have a special guest all the way from Hyderabad. He's still connecting to his audio, but yeah, Atif, you can finish.
Yeah, so I think finally Hyderabad's gotten the balance, and now is where it's time to bring your A game, right? It's the playoffs. No one knows who's going to win. It's knockout. Anybody can beat anyone. We all know Mumbai's been the best team so far, but you can have anyone win the tournament right now. So it's now just down to on the day who performs.
Yeah. Really quickly, just touching up on that bowling, we mentioned it took us a little time to figure that out. Yes, the pitch conditions have helped the bowlers because the Sunrisers don't have like a searing pace when it comes to that. Some of the other teams have those 140, 150 clicks every game. Those kind of bowlers, Sunrisers don't have that. At least the bowlers that were bowling never really had that. But they use the conditions very well, and they you mentioned Sandeep Sharma, who's picked up 10 wickets in the past 3 games for Sunrisers. He's been absolutely effective. I think he was 9, sorry, but he's been so effective. And Natarajan has been bowling very well.
And look at his wickets, man. Kohli, Rohit, record is unbelievable.
Some very, very big wickets as well there. And Natarajan has been incredible. Jason Holder has supported this team well. Shahbaz Nadeem today really stepped it up. Last game also he got ABD. This game as he stepped it up, took 2 wickets for 18 only in a small ground. By the standard of when you say Sunrisers bowling well, you probably think Rashid Khan is right up there. But the past 2 games, he's probably been your 3rd or 4th bowler in those ranks, and the others have really stepped up. So they must take a lot of credit from a lot of encouragement from that kind of a performance, right? I mean, what were your thoughts on that, Musti?
Yeah, I think today Rashid Khan was unlucky. It wasn't his day. Like, he dropped that catch. I would never expect him to drop a sitter like that. And then I think that LBW, the umpire's call, that was also very close. But I think you're right. All the other bowlers stepped up. I'm very impressed with Sandeep Sharma and Natarajan, the Indian bowlers stepping up. Like, there was no Bhuvi, and these guys had to step up, and they stepped up big time. I think they filled their shoes really well. And apart from that, Jason Holder, like Atif said, he's been unbelievable. Like, he wasn't even in the squad. I think Mitchell Marsh got injured, and then he came. He quarantined, and then he sat on the bench for like God knows how long, and then he just comes in and performs like that every game. He's taking a couple of wickets. Last game he finished it off. So I think everyone has stepped up, and and for me the game changer has to be Saha, like we mentioned. I think he's just been.
I think bowling wise, it's credit to the backroom staff and credit to the management, because it's all about the thought process. The management is using the opposition strengths, weaknesses, trying to think what's going on, because like Musti mentioned and you mentioned, we don't have steering pace. We don't have that out and out quick bowler. Sandeep Sharma is bowling 120, 125, very medium pace. Natarajan is known for his Yorkers, but again, he's mixing it up. Holder, again, medium pace, mixing it up. I think in these wickets, we figured out that in the Middle East, it is these cutters and these slow ones, the knuckle balls that are working. So I think that's something which credit goes to the bowling management and the backroom team, that they figured that out, because sometimes you see the Rabadas and the Nokias and the Angiris getting smashed because they're bowling pace. And
Yeah.
now our bowlers
Yeah.
are just coming and bowling very, very sensibly, and they know their strengths. They know, okay, I don't have pace, I have swing. Sandeep Sharma's first 2 overs in the match have been unbelievable every game since the last 4 or 5 games.
Yep.
So I mean, credit to how we've been bowling.
That's a great point. Like today, I think Coulter and Patterson both got smashed because they didn't change the pace initially, and I think that's a great point. The ball's getting stuck in the wicket, and these bowlers are utilizing it to perfection.
Yep, I agree. I think that's exactly what happened there. Mogs, any thoughts on the game?
Mogs, आवाज आ रही? We can't hear you. Yeah, what's up, buddy?
भाई इट्स लाइक मेरे लिए तो फाइनल में जो खुशी रहेगी ना जीतने की, वो खुशी मेरे को अभी इस वक्त हो रही है भाई।
कैसे खेला
जो मैच था माशाल्लाह जबर भाई। 10 विकेट्स है यार हाथ में, 10 विकेट्स है, 10 विकेट्स के साथ जीते। रन रेट देखे आप, मैं फोर्थ पे जाता हूँ समझा, सीधा थर्ड पे। क्या क्रेजी मैच था यार, क्या क्रेजी मैच था यार। मेरा दोस्त कॉल करा मेरे को, दोस्त कॉल करके बोल रहा भाई वो बुमराह नहीं था इसलिए बच गए। तो मैं बोला भाई बुमराह को कौन नहीं बोले, बुला लेना था, खिला लेना था, बोला मैं उसको। तो उन्हें बोला नहीं भाई रेस्ट पे था। तो मैं बोला हमारा भूवी भी रेस्ट पे है, बोला हमारा भूवी भी रेस्ट पे है। मैं बोला ठीक है देख लेंगे फाइनल में, आप और कैसा भी मुंबई इंडियंस और सनराइजर्स आने वाले हैं, देख लेंगे, भूवी को बुला लेंगे हम, आप भी बुला ला के बुमराह को, देख लेंगे, 1-on-1 कर लेके बोला। तो लाइक भाई ठीक है भाई आप लोग, ठीक है आपका परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा था भाई। मैं बोला भाई एक परफॉर्मेंस नहीं, रेगुलरली कैसा जीत रहे अपन वो देखो आप, बोल के बोला।
वार्नर कैसा खेला आज?
क्रेजी था भाई वो, जबरदस्त। वार्नर तो उसकी कैप्टनसी पूरी जबरदस्त तरीके से खेला, और ऐसा दिख रहा था कि लाइक साहा लोग बोलने के आए कि लाइक खेलना ही है किसी, बस अपन दोनों ही मिलके खत्म कर देंगे गेम।
थैंक यू मोग्स, बहुत अच्छे पॉइंट्स थे वहां पे। पूरा अपना जीत रहा है और आपको आने का है फाइनल जीते बाद से।
भाई फाइनल्स है अपने हाथ में है भाई, डोंट वरी।
So Mogs, die hard Hyderabadi fan, it's good to have you on the podcast with us, but I think that wraps up the game today. Your man of the match for each of you.
Man of the match, Atif, you can go take it.
David Warner for me, just so that he finished it. And there was something different about David Warner today. I don't know if you all noticed. He was a little off in the field. He was angry. He was sad. He was screaming at. I think there was one ball which, at first or second over, they bowled a full toss, and I think Decock just drove it through mid off. And before the ball went, he just looked and he's like, "What are you bowling?" Like, he doesn't usually do that. He's calm. And otherwise, also on the field, he was energetic. And if you noticed, he gave something back to the umpire for giving that not out to Pollard, because he doesn't do that usually. So he was pumped up. He was rallying the troops. So for me, he led the team to victory. And for me, it's David Warner.
Yeah, I think a close second to Shahbaz Nadeem as well. I think he really stifled those runs and picked up those wickets also. That was very important. But I think David Warner really the most important. I think the way he led the team through completely, and the 80 odd runs in the while batting as well, just really never gave even a small chance for Mumbai to get back into this game. He was just completely dominant along with Saha and absolutely incredible. But Mogs, man of the match?
संदीप भाई तो संदीप है गेम चेंजर, टुडेस गेम चेंजर। जो विकेट्स निकाला है गेम चेंज कर दिया उन्हें। तो फॉर मी संदीप, बिकॉज जो बैट्समैन अपने पास कैसा है बॉम्बे में, देखे ना फर्स्ट ये लोग कंटिन्यूस, किशन है, सूर्या है, देन पोलार्ड है, पूरे एक से एक जबरदस्त बैट्समैन है। फर्स्ट जो विकेट्स निकाला है वो गेम चेंज कर दिया। तो संदीप, फॉर मी संदीप। वार्नर तो जो है उसका परफॉर्मेंस रेगुलरली अच्छा रहता, बट प्रीवियस मैचेस में अच्छा नहीं था। अब दिस टाइम लाइक मेरे को मालूम है कि ही कैन डू इट, ही कैन स्कोर। फॉर मी लाइक इट्स ओके फॉर, बट संदीप जो है पूरा गेम चेंज कर दिया। तो फॉर मी संदीप।
राशिद अभी 2 डाउन नहीं बैठ कर अभी तक।
राशिद का दिन नहीं था, but it's not Rashid's day. It was Sunrisers day. Khatam.
Yeah, I think for me it has to be David Warner as well. I think not only his batting, I think Moke said his batting, we expect that from him, but his captaincy as well, unbelievable. And I think this is like the 5th or 6th year in a row he's scored more than 500 runs in the IPL. Unbelievable. Who's a better player, man? Tell me. Like in the last 5-6 years, he's just captaincy wise and batting wise, he's just performing every single year, day in, day out.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, he's just been so incredible. The franchise started in 2013, and he's been a mainstay. He's the only player, because of Bhuvi's injury, that is the only player that is going to be there in the playoffs since the 2016 victory that they had. So he's really looking forward to it. He's just been that mainstay. Bhuvi unfortunately got injured, who was also one of the other guys. But yeah, absolutely, man. David Warner's form, there's absolutely no doubt about it. But I think, yeah, that wraps up the game. Today's game, a very very happy bunch of us, all of us smiling really nicely because of the win, and we'll be there on Friday going against RCB. But before that, we have the playoff game between Mumbai and Delhi. These two sides have been at least.
Before that, we need the chant from Musti.
Yes,
We need
Which
the
let's
end,
go,
chant.
Musti.
man? Which end, man?
Whichever you want, you have a
Whichever
lot.
one you want.
The tribal
Everywhere
chant,
we
Musti.
everywhere we go.
The tribal chant.
Well, I wanted to ask, now that we're in the thing, like, who do you think they have a chance to make it to the finals? Like, Atif, you think they have a good chance, or it's going to be because they have to win now 3 in a row to win the trophy?
I definitely think so. I think amongst the two teams that we might play, depends on obviously who wins against Mumbai and Delhi, but I think Mumbai will win. So I think we'll play RCB and DC. I think amongst those two, I think we have the better chance. We've just gelled. They've come off bad losses. I mean, DC won the last game, which was again, someone had to win, but both the teams aren't playing well. So I think we have the best chance amongst them. And I really think Mumbai is going to beat DC, and I think we're going to beat RCB and DC unless we have a really, really bad batting performance.
Yeah.
So I think we'll make it to the finals.
And Mox, Kohli and AB, दोनों को निकालना पड़ेगा. They're two big players for RCB. Do you think Rashid Khan can again get them out?
Of course, भाई राशिद के लिए तो हमेशा राशिद के ऊपर तो उम्मीदें हैं. राशिद तो हमेशा से जबरदस्त परफॉर्मेंस देता, तो शायद मेरे हिसाब से तो राशिद ले सकता विकेट्स. तो बट आई डोंट थिंक कोहली परफॉर्मेंस इज डूइंग अ वेल परफॉर्मेंस. तो एबी डिविलियर्स का मेरे को मालूम है कि लाइक ही विल प्ले वेल. तो राशिद जो है फर्स्ट एबी डिविलियर्स के ऊपर फोकस करना पड़ेगा फर्स्ट.
आप डरे हुए कोहली के अगेंस्ट अगर उन फॉर्म में आ गया तो आरसीबी?
मैं तो कोहली से डरे हुआ नहीं हूँ, बिकॉज आई एम सीइंग हिज परफॉर्मेंस. जब भी जा रहा 7-4 तो मैं बोला लाइक ओके, एबी डिविलियर्स को निकाला जरूरी है. कोहली का तो परफॉर्मेंस पूरा डाउन चल रहा है इस सीजन.
But yeah, sorry Don, with that you just wanted to say...
not before your chant.
Yes.
Which chant, man? There's so
Whichever
many
one
chants.
you want. This new one.
Which one, bro?
The one which you had today. क्या था?
Warner's at the wheel. Can you tell me how it feels? We've got Rashid, Natarajan, and Kane. Jason Holder can bowl in the rain. The greatest of Indian cricket. We won it all. Most कैसा था गाना?
Oh.
आपको भी गाना
है भाई.
आपको भी गाना ना मियाँ भाई मियाँ 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 भाई.
वो फाइनल्स के लिए उठा के रखे वहां भाई.
मरफे वालों को बुला लो फाइनल्स के लिए. हाँ, मरफे वालों को बुला लो फाइनल्स के लिए.
अभी से बुक करा लो मैं, और जाके सिराज के घर के सामने बजाएंगे.
But on that very incredible note, I think we can move on. But yeah, really quickly, just before we wrap up, the game between Mumbai and Delhi, I think these two teams started off as kind of with the way they went in the first half of the tournament, were looking like the favorites who would actually finish 1 and 2. Delhi suddenly tapered off significantly in the second half of the tournament. Mumbai definitely kept that momentum going, and they are probably the best side going into the playoff season. But it's going to be an interesting game because anything can happen in the playoffs. But what are your thoughts, Atvi?
I think it's going to be interesting if Delhi can get their batting to click. I think if 2 or 3 batsmen can click, then they have a chance, because it's been very Dhawan centered. You saw when Dhawan had 2 ducks, the whole team collapsed.
Yeah.
Rahane has come into form, but again, he's not been playing that regularly, so I don't know if he's going to continue that. I think Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant and Hetmeyer are the key. And obviously Stoinis, because in the beginning when Stoinis was firing, they seemed like a completely different team. So if Dhawan doesn't click, it's going to be tough. But I think if the whole team can contribute a little bit, they have a strong bowling lineup, they can put up a great fight. But for me, Mumbai is just on another level right now. And if they have Bolt and Bumrah firing the way they are, the batting is still number 8. It's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to take an incredible performance from any team to beat them.
Absolutely. I think that's absolutely fair. Mogs कौन जीत रहा है अपने अगेंस्ट हैदराबाद में फाइनल्स के लिए?
अपने लिए अगेंस्ट बोल रहे हैं आप?
अपने अगेंस्ट कौन खेलने वाला है? अपन तो फाइनल में पहुंच गए, बट दिल्ली बॉम्बे में कौन है?
मैं मुंबई इंडियंस भाई, मुंबई इंडियंस आने वाले हैं। उन लोगों का बैटिंग ऑर्डर बहुत स्ट्रांग है हमारे अबरार भाई।
हाँ
एक से एक शैताना है,
ज्यादा स्ट्रांग है लोगों का, एक से एक है भाई। वो पोलार्ड जो है आप देखे लास्ट में सिक्सेस जो देखे उसके, पोलार्ड के कैसे सिक्सेस थे। मैं तो सोचा कि और 2 मारता तो अपने को बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल खड़ी कर देता था उन्हें।
हाँ सही भी, अच्छा लास्ट
2-3 देता था
एकदम।
मुझसे
प्लेस टू वॉच आउट फॉर
होल्डर।
सॉरी मोग्स कंटिन्यू।
बोलो।
जी नहीं मैं बोल रहा था कि होल्डर जो है 2 मैचेस से ज्यादा अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस दे रहा, तो थोड़े से अब ऐसा भूवी की कमी होने नहीं दे रहे भाई लोग। द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग।
That's a good point.
But yeah, Musti, players to watch out for in each of the teams, Delhi and Bombay.
For Mumbai, I think this is a tough one, but I would go with probably Surya Kumar. I feel that he's today as well. He was batting well in the beginning, and I think he wants to prove a point, even though he's not showing that. But I think he wants to prove a point that he should have been selected for the Indian squad. And I think this is his time. If he can win the IPL or take them to the finals, this is his time, and he can really. This is the best thing you can do, right? If you're not selected, what do? You show the selectors why they made a mistake, and this is the way you prove it, like with the bat. So I feel I don't know why it's very hard, because like Ativi said, this team, even Monk said, this team from 1 to 11, they're stacked with high quality players. But I'm just going with a specific guy just because I feel that he's going to prove a point. And for Delhi, Rishabh Pant, man, I'm waiting. There's a lot of competition. Ishan Kishan, Samson, who else? There's been a lot of KL Rahul. There's a lot of Indian keepers who have performed this season. And Rishabh Pant, I know he was injured, but I think this is the time. And this Delhi team, if they play to expectations, like to their ability, because they have some high class players, I feel that their death bowling is better than Mumbai's, like their bowling, but just by like 1%. But if they play to potential, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But this Mumbai side have done it, been there, done that, right? So that's going to be the difficult part for Delhi.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that those are some fair points over there. It's going to be an interesting game. Mumbai probably going in as favorites. But Atifi, point on Surya Kumar Yadav. I think you were very animated when he was brought up. I think all of us agree that it's probably a very strange kind of a decision to not have him in the team, because he's been consistently performing.
I have no idea why he's not in the team. I feel so bad for the guy. He's batting so well. I heard the commentators say that he's absolutely made it into the team the way he's been batting. All-round ability. He's batting and hitting on every side of the ground. He's got those scoops. He's got straight on. He comes in at a difficult time and saves the team. He comes in late, hits big shots. Give the guy a chance, man. After performing like this, if you don't play for India, then what? Then it just seems like he's never going to play for India. So like Musti said, go out there, prove a point, and just do it to show that, look, I can also put in a comment like Raidu saying, watching with 3D glasses. That's all he can do.
Yeah, and the game after that also, like when his kind of performance, when he kind of just showed it, like I'm here, I'm there, I'm live for kind of. I mean, it's just so unfortunate because it's not the first season he's performed. He's been doing this for 2 or 3 seasons now. So it's just very, very unfortunate that he doesn't get that kind of chance, especially because Rohit was probably not going to be picked, so he was probably an ideal replacement for him. But they went in with someone who's, I mean, they yes, of course, the team, they don't want to like mess around with it too much, and that's. But Virat Kohli is the kind of guy that he chops and changes. So if you really want to chop and change, you might as well get someone who's been performing, and that's what you like, right? Virat Kohli as a player, he likes to give those guys who've been performing a chance, right? So it was very surprising, very strange, but he is a quality player with Ishan Kishan and Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock at the top, and that middle order, man, this team is lethal. And for me, I think the bowling duo coming back, I think because they really missed them today. I think I want to see how they perform. And for Delhi, again, I think getting used to the conditions over there and using it to your advantage is very important. I think Delhi have lacked that, which is a little surprising because Ricky Ponting at the help should know better, because he's been there, he's done it all over the place, all over the world. He's scored runs and everything. So I'd be interested just to see how they kind of go over with that. But Mumbai for all of you guys?
For that game?
Yeah. for
I'll,
that game.
Yeah.
I'll just go a bit different, Delhi. But yes, Mumbai, our favorites, but I'll just go Delhi. Yeah.
Yeah, Atifi?
Mumbai.
Yeah, Mogs, Mumbai जीती ना परसों?
अरे मोक्स से फर्क नहीं पड़ता,
मुंबई।
खाली हैदराबाद हो ना, मोक्स को फर्क नहीं पड़ता। मोक्स
भाई
ना
भाई मैं
सुस
एक प्लेयर को अप्रिशिएट करूंगा,
कौन?
एक प्लेयर को अप्रिशिएट, किशन यार हो, किशन इज लाइक रियली प्लेइंग वेल, बट उसको भी आज पूरा
अच्छा
सब
एक
चीज से
सवाल,
अपन बहुत स्लो कर दिया उसको।
जवाब तो ये सवाल का, ईशान किशन और साहा ब्रो, हु इज द बेटर प्लेयर?
साहब भाई, अरे भाई भाई सनराइजर्स से कंपेयर क्यों कर रहे हो भाई? आप बॉम्बे और दिल्ली से कंपेयर करो, मैं किशन बोलूंगा। सनराइजर्स से कोई अब सनराइजर्स के आप सबसे होल्डर से भी जो सबसे अपना कौन सा समद और किशन को भी आप ला लेंगे, या समद और किशन को भी ले लेंगे तो मैं समद ही बोलूंगा, क्योंकि सनराइजर्स का है।
तो फिर आप you're happy with Surya Kumar not in the Indian team because Manish Pandey है टीम में?
मनीष पांडे, या ऑब्वियसली सनराइजर्स का है उन्हें।
This is a true Sunrisers fan.
मोग जरा एक ऐसा काट के बताओ, हाथ ऑरेंज है क्या, खून का कलर?
आज बिरयानी का है, आज बिरयानी
ब्लीड ऑरेंज हो क्या मसला?
बिरयानी का है आज?
बिरयानी भाई राशिद भाई, मालूम ना आपको, सहरी में इफ्तारी में हर चीज का इंतजाम करते थे। वैसा कोई हो ही रहा हूं ना भाई, साथ में पार्टनर तो उधर है, तो रहे तो पार्टी करते थे।
सही है।
Okay, that I think wraps it up.
वेट फॉर द फाइनल्स, इंशाल्लाह करेंगे।
Inshallah, definitely
Done.
करेंगे. But I think that wraps it up. Thank you, Atifi. Thank you, Mogs, for joining us today. Or we'll definitely catch up. Finals जीते बाद से we are playing the playoffs as well. If you guys are available, we'll definitely catch up again.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, Abrar bhai, for calling us.
Thank you, Abrar. Chalo.
Right.